Okay, let's start a little bit earlier. Right, let's get the audio away. This is ZD6YI operating the QO-100 worldwide DATV Net. And I certainly hope more stations will come on today. Just want to welcome everybody on frequency. So far we have two viewers on YouTube that have just tuned in, and don't know who they are just yet, but a very good afternoon, good morning or good evening, wherever you may be. Today we don't have too many people on. I hope for sure that more people will come on, and then we can see that this becomes quite an interesting net. We have Leon at the moment with a problem. His transmitter gets, the power supply gets hot. His new one was delivered an hour ago, so it wasn't enough time to go and quickly install that. It's got a crazy problem. The moment the NVIDIA card's fans kick in, the power supply kicks out. So we hope it's now the power supply, seen that he's got another one in hand and not the NVIDIA's fans. But anyway, it'll be sorted out. There's no doubt. Leon certainly knows what he's doing. And let's just have a quick see who's on the list today. But now to do that, I have to quickly pull up the list, and then we can have a look, see who's on today. Right, the list, let's try that. Okay, we have Roger on as well. Hello Roger, great to see you. Myself, ZS6YI Net Control, and then we have ZS1 Mike, that's Leon, down in Worcester in the southern part of South Africa in the Cape Province. And then we have Peter, GW7 Echo Zulu Yankee, or Bravo Zulu Yankee rather. He's from Wales. We were testing earlier. And then all the way from the Netherlands, Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. Haven't seen you for a while, Paul. And well, we did 5 minutes ago, but it's good to see you back from holiday and that you had a good time. And believe this or not, Paul's now officially retired. However, what does that mean? Ask Leon. He's been retired but been called back to work, I think, twice or three times. Anyway, he's now retired for the third time, whatever. That's Leon. And then we have Roger, Golf 3, Italy Uniform Zulu. Is that right? My eyesight these days. Let me see, my screen's very small. Italy India Uniform Zulu. Roger, yes. Always good to see you. And yeah, you did say it, so sometimes the timing's a bit awkward, but I'm so pleased that you could make it today. I just want Leon to start firing up his power supply. Leon, if you can get yourself ready, because he hasn't got a long over, then the power supply cuts out. So he switches it on, he gives a burst of energy over the satellite to us, and then he switches off, and then when his turn comes, we'll just give him good timing so that he can switch it on again. And by that time we might have had a few guys additional onto this. Let me just have a look, see. I'll go back to the screen, and then I want to quickly see if there's anyone else on the BATC. There's Chris OLI. No, nobody else. I saw King Henry, King of England earlier, Martin, but it's a pity he's not on right now. G8KOE. If you're listening, Martin, try and pop on. We'd like to see you on frequency, that's for sure. Right, okay, Leon, are you about ready to take the reins here? ZS1 Mike, and then if you will kindly pass it to, let me just get that list again so that you know who to give it to. You pass it to Peter, Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. So back to you, Leon, sir. ZS1 Mike from ZS6YI. So back to you.
I'm coming up. Yes, I've made it. I'm coming up. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is ZS1 Mike. Thanks Gary. I don't know, if I disappear, you know the thing is overheating. It's already moody because I've had it over with Gary a little earlier on. Well, I had the thing on just to see if it's going to work. Yeah, we didn't have a real over. Okay, yes, the power supply arrived an hour ago. This is the new one, still in its box. So I shall do that. The net later tonight. I'll swap the power supply. Now, why did my power? I'm still, no, there I'm back. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, my signal's back. Okay, very busy. Yes, Gary, I think it's about the 4th time that I've retired now. I've stopped counting, but I enjoy it over there. So yes. Busy with many different projects here at the moment. It's cameras, still cameras. I bought a bargain yesterday, a whole bag full of lenses, 5 lenses, all genuine Pentax Takuma, and 2 Pentax cameras, all film cameras of course, you know, normal 35mm, but the lenses I can use on all of my other cameras in manual mode, because some of those lenses are very good. Paul, very nice to see you as well. Yes, we've sort of almost forgotten about you. You and your, what do you call it, the broken things clinic or something, whatever, where you fix other people's things. Yes. And Roger as well. Yeah, Peter, I saw yesterday, and I made a call to you, Peter, but I think I was too late because I leave the transmitter computer off now. So that gives me extra minutes of on time when I'm running it. Yeah, so Roger, yes, and nice to see that you're on as well. Okay, Peter, I think I'll give it to you now. I won't come back because this thing won't allow me to come back. It'll die, or it won't start. If I switch it off now, it won't start. GW7BZY for the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester.
Problem. That's a pity, but I'll take it in the meantime. Looks like Peter might have a problem. He was on a bit earlier, so Peter, if you are around, maybe something's wrong. You're just quickly refiring up. I'll take it. And okay, Leon, that was a good over. There was a chap with a very narrow signal that came up, probably about 66 kilohertz signal, kilo symbols. And so he came up right in the middle and popped you off for a little while, but he quickly saw what was happening and then withdrew. But anyway, let's just see if Peter's back. If not, Paul, will you then take it? So if Golf GW7BZY does not take it up, give him a little moment to try. Failing which, Peter, Paul, will you please take it then from ZS6 Yankee India? Failing which, Peter?
There is always a lot to do when coming on the air. I think I gave Peter sufficient time to come on the air, but again, he wasn't there. Peter, if you're watching, simply try it in the next over. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all watching the net at the moment. Indeed, not that many participants. I cannot complain because I wasn't here for quite a long time, although that is not completely true. because Roger and I, simply the two of us, just before I went on holidays, did the net. Yeah, which was really nice. Doesn't matter. I think since summertime has passed in Europe, more people will participate quite soon. Okay, so good afternoon also to Roger. Gary, you told that you didn't see me for a while, but I did not see you for a while too. And I already asked you, what have you done? That means after the lightning strike, because it became completely clear that you lost a lot of equipment during that lightning strike. And I understand that you did replace quite a lot. So perhaps in the next over you can tell a bit more about what has happened. In the time between the lightning strike and today. Well, it might be, I should be aware of course, that I was on holidays in Austria for 4 weeks, so maybe you did already tell it, that could well be. Well, we arrived last week, in the middle of last week. We did a 1,200 kilometer drive from the southern part of Austria during the night. Well, that was rather convenient actually. Maggie and I are both driving, so we change every, let's say, 3 hours, 4 hours, and make the trip in about, let's say 14 hours it was this time, I think. Yeah. But still, it's quite a distance to do that by car. And especially on German highways, for those who are not driving in Germany, the highways in Germany, are really, really busy, especially during the day. And that's also the reason why we are driving in the night. Okay, we had a wonderful time, I can tell. It's not the first time that we did visit Austria. We do it every year actually, and it's a lovely country to be, with a lot of nature, the mountains of course, but the good thing is that life is also good, meaning it's quite easy to have a good dinner and to enjoy your wine. That was really nice. I wanted to meet Paul, Oscar Echo 8 Papa Charlie Kilo. You know him from the net, but he had surgery, which went well. So that is the good news. He stays still in hospital, but it is expected that next week he can go home. And hopefully the pain that he suffered from will be gone after surgery. I also saw Christian, Oscar Echo 8 Sierra Charlie Quebec, we had dinner together, which was really nice. We talked about a lot of things, and many subjects were not at all related to our hobby. That means the radio hobby, but that's also good, isn't it? Partially we talked about the radio hobby because the Libre SDR from Paul PCK died quite sudden, and initially we both thought that it would be a firmware problem. We did exchange a lot of information, not only verbally, but did exchange also a lot of files with information about the Libre SDR. Yeah, sorry. We did exchange a lot of information, and at the end, Christian found a malfunctioning regulator on the board. Since he did not have that regulator in stock, he ordered it in China, but with an external power supply he fed the Libre SDR, and suddenly it came on. That was the good news. it means that if Christian is able to replace that malfunctioning regulator, he did repair a Libre SDR. That's good. Okay, and that means that when Paul PCK is back from hospital, he will be able to get on the air again. In Austria I was also active with narrowband as of day 2, I think, and initially that went well, but during a QSO with Paul PCK, suddenly I lost output power, and I thought, oh dear, this is my stealth microwave power amplifier. That's a 40 watt unit that I bring for holidays. That gives a good signal on the narrowband transponder with a small dish. So I thought it had died, but actually no, that is not true, because of course, especially for holidays, I bring all kind of cables, and also this tiny SMA connector. I do not know whether you can see it. No, it's not really focused, but perhaps you can see the black spot on the top. Yeah, let's say the quality level of this connector, this adapter, is not so good. It must be plastic instead of Teflon. It's burned. Well, that is not that bad, but it became also really hot. With as a result, I'm using these connectors. Perhaps you can see it. This connector also became very hot, with the result that the plastic around the copper feeder melted, and it did not make good contact anymore to the connector. So it took me some time to find that problem. I did replace, first of all I cut off the old connector, which is this one, and then I did replace it with a new N connector and a new adapter. And the adapter that I've now used, that's really a good one, a stainless steel connector with Teflon inside, and that lasted for the full holidays. So I thought it would be a complex problem, but it proved to be a very simple problem, and I also learned that I'd better invest in better quality adapters. But sometimes you simply are not aware what you're buying in China, and nearly all the connectors that I own were ordered in China. Okay. Leon, it's good to see you again too. Finally it worked, but as what I've understood, it is not reliable, your power supply, so it's questionable whether we will see you again today. Let's see. And you had a bargain, lenses, but we did not see it. Perhaps later on we will see your bargain. And Paul's Broken Things Clinic, that is well found, Leon. I never thought about that. But indeed, I'm always repairing, and what you can see at the left here on my desk, there is again a power supply which I need to repair because the well-known power FETs died. Ordered them in China. Hopefully they will be original. Let's see. Especially the avalanche effect in these power field effect transistors is a problem in this high capacity power supplies. Okay, that's it for the moment. Let's have a look at the list. I think it is Roger now. It's Roger. So microphone and camera to England. Really to see you again. Nice to see you again, Roger. This was Papa Echo number 1 Alpha Victor Papa.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. And good afternoon to everybody, or good morning, good evening, for anyone watching in other time zones. It's always a delight to be on with you on the net. Let's put a picture up. There we are. It's not as sunny as in the caption there, I'm afraid. It's now raining. It's distinctly autumnal here over the last day or so, and this afternoon it's really rather dismal, I think is the word, with rain and very strong winds are forecast for tonight, something like 50, 60 mile an hour, which is not going to do some of the trees much good, I guess, with still a lot of foliage on them. Autumn hasn't really struck yet, so we shall see. Anyway, Leon, sorry you've got problems there. I remarked, I think, last time to Gary, I think, in a... I wasn't on the net, but we exchanged WhatsApp messages, and I remarked to him last week that when you have problems, Leon, it gives hope to the rest of us, because normally you are so consistent and reliable, so the rest of us struggle. So boot on the other foot at the moment, by the sound of things. And good afternoon to, I see Mike G0 MJW is there. Thank you for clarifying the reason, the autumnal. This is in the chat if you're monitoring. Right. Well, nothing particularly technical to report here, but I have got some pictures which, particularly to show you, Gary, as I know you're a connoisseur, and for those who saw it on the BAT, or saw these pictures on the BATC net Thursday night, I apologise for the repetition, but I think maybe others may be interested, but I think Gary particularly. So Gary, there is an annual event here in this part of the world. It's a rally, rather exclusive rally, and it starts here in the city of Wells, in front of the cathedral. There's a large green area, Cathedral Green. There is a road access to it, and there is a gathering there, of which, as I say, I think you might be of some interest to you. So let's go over to the pictures. And this is the sort of badge that the vehicles wear. The Mendip Hills Tour of Somerset, September. And they go off for the day, touring around the countryside. I think they stop for a rather nice lunch somewhere. But maybe you are having a guess now, Gary. If I now zoom out, you'll see why it's rather exclusive, because it's all Rolls Royces. A magnificent collection of them. There were 11 there when I was passing through on my way down into the city to get my daily paper, and others were arriving. So I guess there'd probably be about 15, possibly 20, before they set off on their tour for the day. But I thought you might like to just see what we had here, some rather nice vehicles. No doubt you'll be able to identify some of the what sort of year they are. Love the polished aluminium bonnets. That trio there appear to be very similar bodywork, because I believe in those days you bought the engine and chassis and then got your own choice of coach builder to put the rest on, according to taste, I suppose, and budget, I imagine. So here's a few more. I think this one here was the oldest one, judging by the various bits of equipment and the looking at the dashboard and so on. I think that was the oldest one. That's a rather more interesting, sort of rather a one-off-ish one, and that one rather more modern. But there we are. But a lovely collection, and engines purring. Yeah. I think that's a lot now. Oh yeah, just one more. Yeah, there we are. So I hope you enjoy those, Gary. And as I say, you probably can identify the sort of vintage that they represented. Anyway, back to me. So there we are. So that's about from me. Sorry, I should have said at the beginning, Paul. Lovely to see you again. Glad you enjoyed your holiday. And yes, we kept the home fires burning, or the seat warm, or whatever the expression is, about a month ago, when absolutely nobody else turned up. So after 3:05, I thought, well, let's see if anybody's about, and put out a sort of CQ. And up Paul came, and so we had a very pleasant half an hour together. But we weren't joined by anybody else. But so anyway, I wonder if Peter's now got himself sorted out. GW7BZY. So it goes back to you, Gary, as net control, I think. But shall we take a pause and see whether Peter can get in? If not, then it's over to you, Gary. And then maybe we might see Leon, but maybe we won't. So I think. So on to you then, Gary. On to you, Peter. GW7BZY with a pause. Otherwise, to Gary. This is G3IUZ on the Worldwide Net. Let's put a test card up.
Yeah, GW7BZY. So I'm now watching YouTube to catch the. I looked there. Everything was. He was still talking, and I looked at the monitor, and the signal had disappeared. So it looks quite powerful, actually. It looks a bit more than I want. Oh, other way. Turn it down a bit. Turn it up a bit. Anyway, hopefully that's good enough. This is GW7BZY. Looking a bit overcoloured on the YouTube stream anyway, but at least I'm making it. I don't think the wind is helping very much, but all of a sudden, OpenTuner. I've just had I'll just preface that with I've had an update from Windows, which has enabled SDR television to work fairly reliably. Not as it intended. It only works on one frequency and receives on one frequency, the same frequency, which is quite handy to monitor your outgoing, but it doesn't receive anything else for some reason. So that's a step forward at my end. Obviously, my end is a problem. Probably Pluto is being messed about with so much that there's probably some corruption in there. And I'm going to leave it at that while it works. So I'm quite happy with that, but unfortunately, OpenTuner decided to die, and then I got the old mini tuner out, and I think the wind was blowing it around, so then I was only getting broken up reception from everybody, so I gave up with that and gone to YouTube. So there we are. That's what I've been doing this side. I've been getting SDR into going, which hasn't been easy. Well, it's been easy this time since the update, but of course, OpenTuner has broken, so... I don't know if it's been supported any longer. There's a new version of it. I say hello to everybody. I'll flick you. Something with car tax on. That's a strange thing to be having on the chat. But anyway, that's all I've got to say from here. Not a lot, really. Hopefully my audio's okay. I don't know that I can adjust anything. I have turned some sharpening up in camera, so that might be a little bit sharper, and I've brought the black level up a bit on camera as well via the waveform monitor. So when I As at the moment, I'm only not using vMix or OBS. I'm using a what is it? I can't remember the name of it now. Magwell USB capture card. A Magewell USB capture card only, and that feeds into SDR, which seems to work very well. Except I can't adjust the colour to the level that I used to be able to. The 3070 graphics card seems to have overwhelmed, and shows flashes of red warning on vMix. Because vMix has a warning to tell you. On the top, yeah. Oh, Chris. Hello, Chris, yeah. Which Chris is that? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting it right. It just doesn't seem to do. It doesn't work. I've got all the frequencies on top. You can set it and etc., or change the receive. It doesn't work. And if I try to fiddle with it once I've got it going, it crashes. So when I say it works, and it has now become reliable. Other times I've actually tried to do this with OBS on my not OBS, with SDR television on my system. It's been an absolute failure. Yeah, it's good enough. Does the job. Good enough is good enough, isn't it? I have a mixer, or a switcher if you like to prefer, which I could use to import video and other things, because obviously if I'm going straight from the capture card into SDR, I can't have my test card, which is a bit of a thing. Or I could put it on a USB on a S/S card into the camera, and maybe I can play it back from there. I don't know whether the camera will play back clips it hasn't generated. I doubt if it will, because it needs it to have ideate in some way. But anyway, with that, I'm going to hand it round. I don't know who's next. It'll probably be Gary. Over to you, Gary. Sorry for the long ramble. I would fade to black, but I can't. Or can I? Hold on.
Okay, Peter, you faded to dead still. Anyway, I just want to quickly see who's... Okay, Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. He's sent me a lovely photograph of him sitting with his computer on a nice little outdoor table with a park in front of him and a glass of what should be wine, but there's nothing in that glass. So, Benno, you better fill that up, as I said to you on the net here. And I'm pleased to hear that you are on holiday. Unfortunately, you said you can't come up on wideband, but on narrowband you could. And then Mike, G0MJW, he just sent hi. He's also watching, but he's very busy with another project at the moment. He can't come on. And so, we hope to hear from you soon, Mike, and get all the details one of these days. But wonderful to see you guys are listening as well, or on. And then on YouTube, we have Ashley, Golf Echo 8 Delta Papa Hotel, I think it is, stroke Alpha. We have Ishmael, who's always on, from Germany. We have Stuart, ZR1 Whiskey Tango. And of course, Nigel, 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel. Lovely to see you on as well, Nigel. See that you guys are watching. At this moment, we've got 33 people watching, so that's quite nice. Last week we had a lot. Yes, Delta Lima 2 India Echo is Ismail's call sign. And always nice to have you on, Ismail. I think you must have the best attendance of all on the net, and you always report in. Be lovely to see you on this frequency one of these fine days. I got a quick WhatsApp from Leon. His power supply is packed up again, so I don't think he will be able to come on, but we will give him a turn, of course, or the opportunity, but I'll let Leon know. To you, Paul, good news on Paul, I did speak to Paul actually, and I see what the problem is. I said, I think you will have virtually immediate relief. I certainly hope I was right with the fusing of those vertebrae, and I certainly hope the guy will be up and about soon. He might just be a little bit straighter, but that's okay as long as the pain goes. It's horrible pain, that for sure. Anything in the back can be terribly painful. Anything to do with the bone, actually. Anyway, what else was news? Yes, Paul, you asked what happened. Well, lightning took out the whole station. What I did save was the Canon EOS R7 camera, which I'm using now. And believe it or not, the Pluto and the GPS unit of the Pluto. But all my other GPS units got clobbered. There was, on all the dishes, I've got a different GPS unit. As well as on the Kenwood, sorry, as you were, the ICOM 9700. I've got a 10 meg GPS unit running there. That all got hit out. So I've got about, and previously I had a lightning strike that also took some out. So I've got them at my daughter in the UK, and I wanted to send them to Leo Bodner. I actually spoke to Leo himself a long time ago, and he said, look, just send them and we'll replace the boards. We don't need a new case. We don't probably need antennae. And then he'll charge me a bit of a reduced price for that. And then she can bring him over. She's actually coming over in October, so I must move. And just reconfirm with Leo if he would mind doing that, and then pay him whatever it costs. Then I'll have those back, and I can get the LNBs sorted again. What else? Oh yes, I also had a big problem with my lovely watt meter, which Leon gifted me some time back. So Leon said, look, I first sent him the one unit down, the probe, if you want. It's a heat thing. And the lightning had popped a little hole in the diaphragm, and you can't get these diaphragms, so that was a big problem. Leon somehow found one and replaced that, sent it back to me, but it still didn't work, and then we found it was also the meter itself. So Leon got that, and he found there was an issue on that unit, but he had a spare board, so he swapped the boards around in the meantime, and he's already sent the one back. I haven't received it yet. I'll probably get it on Monday, but I am also not going to use it as often. I'll just use it to calibrate where I am, and like now I'm running about 8 watts at the moment, so it's not too bad. And so I know more or less where I am thanks to that, but I'll rather use it as the test equipment it ought to be, because I was using it quite often, almost like a daily use when I come on to DATV. So it's not the wanted thing, I don't think. What else is there to say? Yeah, all the security cameras went for a loop. Alarms went for a loop. Oh, my goodness. And I've got recorders, DATV, or what do you call it, digital recorders on all the cameras. And the whole thing packed up. And the result, and all this was that the lightning hit on the 100-foot mast that I have, came down, and I have a camera on top, which was run with a LAN cable, and that got into the rest of the LAN circuitry and popped everything. So what I've done now, all the exterior LAN cables that come into the house, I've replaced with fiber optics. So firstly it's better. You're not having any magnetic interference, and I think it's slightly safer. You're never safe, really. For example, the power meter was not connected except via the mains. That was just plugged into the mains, so that must hit an earth up that way and smacked it. So the only way really is to disconnect everything, including your mains. And that's what I'm doing now, to be honest. When I finish, I uncouple the lot. It's a bit of a chore, but hell, it's a lot cheaper than having to go through this. Okay, the advantage is my other computer was 2 years old, which is not old, and so I went for an AMD chip, the best they have at the time, and that gave problems. That's why it was so long and had to be returned, and they sent through a replacement, and that's working fine, much faster than my top of the range Intel one I had earlier. But anyway, things do progress. So every 2 or 3 years, I suppose, one has to upgrade these things. But for DATV, it's fine. That was a long ramble from me, Paul. And Roger, yes, those Rolls Royces, oh my goodness, those were Rolls Royces. Now look, I have modern, but oh boy, there's something about the pre-World War II models that are just fantastic. And that's what those are mostly there. And yes, Mullin Award was one. They had a lot of different coach builders that used to build these things. I don't want to now advertise, but although most of them aren't there now. But so you did buy the chassis and the engine and so on, and then they would build the coach work around that. But later on, of course, Rolls brought that in-house, and it went from there. In fact, I still own the Rolls which I bought at Crewe, and my son and I went to Crewe. We were invited by the export director to spec this car because I had my amateur radio station built in, and I didn't want any noise. So they really did a great job. I'll tell you about it in a minute. And I still have that. That I use virtually daily now. But so we went to Crewe, and we were fetched from the airport. It was lovely. And they had a big sign, you know, welcome, blah, blah, blah. I said to my son, it's a pity nobody in this airport, it's Manchester Airport, knows us. But anyway, it was nice. And I climbed in front with the chauffeur, and he couldn't believe it because most of the guys buying a Roll sit at the back. So I teased him. I said, look, I come from South Africa. If I want to buy one of these cars, I send my gardener to the one corner of the garden. I'll say, dig out a pot of gold. And I send him to the other corner and get a couple of diamonds. And here I am. I'm a guy just like you, no different. And of course, he saw the joke and he enjoyed it. But it was good that I did that because he gave us, on the journey now to Crewe, he gave us some very interesting stories. The one was they had built an extended wheelbase, they call it, or long wheelbase Rolls. And he told me that in Crewe, there are many, many old millionaires living there with Rolls Royces. And they've been taught, the chauffeurs have been taught that they always reverse the car into the garage, and then so that the front mascot can be seen, you see, from the road. It's all propaganda, of course. But so they lent one. They wanted this old geezer to get one of these, and his chauffeur, before they had electronic little peeps on the bumper, had a tennis ball hanging from the back. So he would reverse his Rolls in until a tennis ball touched the window, and the doors just closed. But not thinking of it, this car was quite a bit longer, maybe about a foot or so in that region. So he reversed happily. And long before the tennis ball hit the fellow Frikkie, a good old friend of mine, he's watching as well. So long before the tennis ball hit the window, the car hit the back wall and the whole garage came crumbling, falling down on this brand new car, a couple of kilometers on the clock. So of course I was interested to know what happened next. He said, well, Rolls just took the car and took the body off and put a new one, and that was that. So, okay, that was the first story he told me. Second story he told me was there was a very wealthy guy in London. So he used to come to work a bit later, but he had a young guy in his little car that would keep the parking in front of his company. I'm hitting this mic all the time, apologies for that. And so this particular day, the guy came in and the young chap got into his car, and as he moved out, another fellow just quickly reversed into his position. And so he got out and he said to the Rolls owner, that takes courage, doesn't it? And the Rolls owner put his car into low gear, gripped this car and just pushed it into the middle of the road, happily parked, got out, and he says, and that takes money. Now how true that is, I don't know, but this is what this chauffeur told me. And then the very day, that was the 2nd of January, 1996, I had to get the car flown out because I wanted to double tax the darn thing when it landed. And so I had to get it on a plane and get it out here, which was cheaper than the double tax, you can imagine. However, that very day, the Volkswagen directors were at Rolls-Royce as well. So we were visiting Rolls together, and they were there not to buy a car, to buy the company, which they did do in the end. and then had a big faux pas because they realized later on that BMW owned the Rolls-Royce name and mascot, and that's why they had to split, and BMW built a brand new plant in Goodwood, and my son and I visited Goodwood. That was a very nice visit. That's when I bought my new Phantom extended wheelbase, and and that was the car that saved my life when I was shot. If I wasn't in that car that day, I wouldn't have been here today, for sure not. Anyway, it's another story for another day, but it was a lovely visit to Goodwood, beautifully done, and it was nice to see very, very modern technology now incorporated into a very good brand. So you had the best of both worlds. Anyway, that was a long, long story. I don't know, Leon, if you want to take it, you can just pop me a message if you want to. Failing which, we'll go down the list again and then send it to Paul if Leon doesn't want to take it. I just want to see. Yeah, no one else has joined, so there we go. I don't think Leon's going to come on, but Paul, if you don't mind giving a minute or so, half a minute, and let's see what does Leon says. He says dieselfde won't start again. Okay, sorry about that, Leon. I'll be supporting you a bit later when you put your new power supply in. We can do tests. Ek hoop dit gaan die probleem wees. Righto, then Paul, no need to wait, sir, to you, and then you pass it on to Peter after that, I think. Let's just get the sequence right. Paul, if you can take it, you pass it to Roger. Roger can bring it, pass it on to Peter and back to me. So, Papa Echo 1, Alpha Victor Papa, to take it from ZA6 Yankee India.
I have to check audio, of course. Yeah, that seems to be there. Really, really nice. Everything is working again, I believe. Yeah, the output power is also okay. So this is the second over then. Thank you, Gary, for handing over to me. Let's try to comment. First of all, Roger, really nice to see you again. Yeah, the young guy from England. It's raining there with a lot of wind. Well, I understood that will be the situation here in the Netherlands tomorrow. Wind speeds up to 80 kilometers an hour. That is the prediction for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. No, not at all. Okay, but again, that's related to autumn, which is coming. Indeed, Gary always was very consistent. I completely agree with Roger. So I have to admit that the net is depending a bit on that. Yeah, that's what I think. So thank you for that, Gary. Wonderful pictures that you've shown, Roger, about this exclusive rally. Wonderful, these Rollses. Yeah, there was someone putting a comment on in the chat saying that he'd rather see those cars in his own garage, something like that. And indeed, I have to admit that. Well, for those who have been watching in the past, they know that I own an MG, or AMG, I should say. Yeah, the next thing to do on the MG at this site is that I have to bring it on Thursday to the National Agency for inspection of the car, and if that goes well, I get my license plate back again, which is important, of course, to drive the car on the road. So, fingers crossed. Hope that works, huh? And then you would say, well, then you can make nice drives. Well, I made a drive just before holidays with the car, and suddenly a problem showed up. Of course, the engine was taken apart completely, and there is a rear seal modification which I installed on the engine, but it is leaking oil, and not just a bit. I could follow the track on the road where I drove the car, so that is not good at all. Which means that after I went through inspection on Thursday, I have to disassemble a part of the car to take the engine out and to investigate what happened on that rear seal. Yeah, that's the nasty thing with old cars. But that's also part of the hobby. It's a bit of pity because I hoped that I had completed that job completely, the restoration of the MG, so that I could focus on the radio hobby again. But the radio hobby has to wait for some additional weeks at least. That's what I think. Okay, Peter. Windows updates, it's horrible. We are all suffering them. And then you could say, of course, which some people do, simply don't grant access to the internet, but we need it for the wideband transponder. Yeah, I'm checking my output level. It is still okay, I think. We simply have to be connected to the internet, so that is not really a solution, but Windows updates are horrible in our hobby. You looked a bit colorful. That's not what I'm used to, because normally, Peter, you always bring really, really wonderful pictures, a wonderful video, and also your audio was a bit loud, too loud to my opinion. But perhaps you think I'm now a bit critical. And I love that video switch panel. That would really be nice to own that. Of course, OBS has a lot of functions available, but it's also difficult to control it. At least that's my opinion. And that is also the reason why I did not start with a test card. Okay. And Gary, first of all, you talked about Benno, that Benno sent a picture. Good afternoon also to Benno, and of course, good afternoon to all watching via YouTube. But Benno and I had a chat on the narrowband transponder earlier this week. At the time he was visiting Luxembourg with his is it a caravan? No. Doesn't matter. But he enjoyed Luxembourg, although he did not really enjoy it at that moment because it was raining, as it does in Central Europe. Okay. Indeed, the surgery for Paul gave an immediate relief, Gary. You are completely right. So that is the good news, but the surgery itself was quite painful. That's what I understood. But again, hopefully he will go home this week, and then he can bring further news himself. That lightning incident that you talked about, Gary, that's really, really horrible if that happens. And disconnecting from the grid, that is a good decision, I think, and also your decision to install fiber optics instead of Ethernet links, that's also a good decision, because that lowers the chance of a complete disturbance of your ham station. Not completely, but the chance for disturbance will be much lower. But it was a lot of equipment that you had to replace. The story that you talked about regarding the watt meter and the burnt hole, that's a bit strange, of course, when it was only connected to the grid. That is not what one would expect, but yeah, it happened. And then in the lines in between, you stated that you are only running 8 watts, meaning that you are owning a large dish. Yeah, because the signal is perfect, Gary. Okay, and then regarding the new personal computer, we had a chat. Oh yeah, that was a text chat in the time in between, and there you told that story. Yeah, and then the story about parking your Rolls-Royce reverse in the garage. Wonderful story, especially if the new Rolls-Royce is just a bit longer than the old one. Well, actually, I have not really a neighbor, but someone living about 100 meters from my home, who owns a Maybach. That's a Mercedes-Benz, and he has a turning plate in his garage. You won't believe it, but actually he owns that. So he parks the car in a normal order, and then the turning plate is going 180 degrees around, and then he can drive the car out of his garage in the normal way. It's yeah. I'm laughing because these solutions that is a bit too much for me. Okay. Oh yeah, and then of course, if you send the Rolls-Royce back to Rolls-Royce, they take off the body and put a new body on top, and that actually only can be done for Rolls-Royce in that way. That is true. Well, interesting stories. It was nice meeting you, gentlemen, and nice seeing you. Hopefully I will be on next week again. Let's see. I cannot promise, and I will not promise, of course, that I'm available again every week, but I will do my best at least. Yeah, then the camera and the microphone. Yeah, you told me what to do, Gary. I hand over to Roger. Yeah. Hand over to Roger, and then Roger hands over to Peter again. That was the original order. I don't think that I did follow your order, Gary, but I send it to Roger, and then it is clear. Roger, take the camera, take the microphone. Over to you from Papa Echo #1 Alpha Victor Papa.
Thank you very much, Paul, and all good stuff from everybody. I'm just waiting for the audio check a moment because I'm having to monitor on the stream because the signal, because the weather's deteriorated here. It's a marginal signal at the best of times.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's working. Sorry, the signal's marginal at the best of times, and once the weather, if we get a lot of cloud and wet, everything becomes very dodgy. So I'm now monitoring the stream and listening to the audio on that, because you were in and out, Paul. You were just below the optimum level. If people are just about level with the beacon, I'm okay, but anything slightly below, including myself, for which I apologise, then it gets a bit marginal here. So the signal is quite interesting. I am monitoring the QO-100 using OpenTuner, and I have 2 screens open, one running VLC and the other MPV. And it's quite interesting watching how it seems to vary. One will get it, the other won't. Sometimes the audio's on one, sometimes the audio's okay on the other. At the best of times, of course, they're both fine. But with marginal signals, it's quite interesting to see. Now, at the moment, I can see myself working fine on MPV, but it's not it's frozen on VLC. I've noticed this frequently with signals that are just on the margin of being fully resolved. Anyway, there we are. Anyway, all very interesting indeed. Thanks for the reminiscences on your visit to Crewe, etc., Gary. I thought, as I say, when I took the pictures, I was thinking of you. I thought, well, if I get on Sunday, they might be particularly of interest to you, knowing that you were an appreciative owner, shall we say, of that mark, even if it's a somewhat more modern version. So that's good. What was the other? Yeah, I should have made some notes. The old memory here is not all that brilliant. One thing that sort of slightly on the technical side that I have been playing with, nothing to do with DATV, but with the HF bands. Those of you who get Radcom, our RSGB magazine, might have noticed I think it's one of the HF reports about the latest version of digital voice, known as RADE V1. This is digital voice has been around for some time, experimentally in various versions, and it's entirely open source. And the latest version is now using neural networks to do an awful lot of the signal processing, digital processing, and I've been playing with that, and it's remarkably good. Not an awful lot of people, mainly in Japan, America, Germany, a few Gs playing with it. But when it works, it's superb. You get a 8 kilohertz audio bandwidth occupying a RF bandwidth of only 1.5 kcs, and it'll work down to a signal to noise ratio of -2. And the quality is extremely good. It's almost, when it's at its best, it's almost AM quality. I'm very impressed with that. So I've been playing around with that. But that's rather off the DATV topic. But I found that of some interest. Anyway, that's about all from me, I think, this time round. So I'll say good afternoon to everybody, particularly the other watchers and listeners, as it were. And it's going to come to you, Peter. Oh, just one thing, yes, about... sorry, one point I knew I wanted to mention. Paul, you were talking about OBS and choosing your sources. I use Stream Deck. I can just switch immediately. If I just show you, I can switch immediately to test card, to pictures, to video, and so on. Just simply a press of a button. It's very, very easy to set up, and it's very, very flexible. So I'm a great fan of Stream Deck. So no messing about with your mouse trying to find which button on the screen to press. It's so much easier to do it with a Stream Deck. And as I say, it's got its own section on OBS, so it's very easy to set up. And really, the sky's the limit on how many buttons you have and what they do. So thoroughly recommend that. Right, that's enough from me. As I say, I wish you all a very good afternoon, good evening, good morning. And it comes to you, Peter, over in just across the Bristol Channel from me. Well, a little way across the Bristol Channel from me. So GW6BZY to take it. This is G3IUZ on the worldwide DATV QO-100 net. I'll stick up a test card.
Okay, apologies for the extra powerful signal. There we go, maybe that's a bit better. This is GW7BZY. Can I turn this down now? Just check that I've got some audio. Somebody will message me if I haven't got audio. But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's only now getting to me on the stream, you see, so it's a bit slow. Anyway, story time. Hey, a close family member, my Uncle Joe. I don't think that's possible to read. J. William Walton, on his retirement from director of Rover Cars. Uncle Joe used to run Rover Cars for a good while, from 1938 to 1967. He knew Frank Whittle and the ghost factories, or the hidden factories in Longbridge and the tunnels there. He was, he didn't like. I asked him about Frank Whittle. He was quite disgruntled that I was interested in someone, and not his story. But yeah, and the funny thing was when he retired, they gave him a car, a P5 Rover, ivory with grey roof, the coupe, the 3.5 litre one. Very nice car, not quite a Rolls Royce, but the next best thing, I'd say. And every couple of years, every 2 years, it used to go back to Longbridge to be refurbished by the trainees, the apprentices, and then it was refurbished to new and then sent back to him. They kept a load of panels and chrome work and interior in the factory for him. And when he passed away, of course, another relative of mine from up that way grabbed the car because the market was very high at that time. It was worth quite a good amount of money, being the best Rover P5 in the world without any. Oh, I like my picture there, Mike. In the world at the time. What happened to it now, I don't know. Probably found its way into somebody's garage. Once he died, it was a company car and it was repossessed by Rover only a matter of months before they went. So I don't know. Had he lived a bit longer, perhaps there would have been no one to pick it up. So anyway, we'll never know. Well, I just thought I'd say that, but that's a nice bit of silver. I don't know about that one. I don't know what silver's worth these days. It's pity it's not gold. That would be well worth it. But I've kept that as a memento. There's a little Dorridge there. GW7BZY. I hand it round. All very interesting. Paul there, excellent. Everything all good. Hopefully, I'm now using DATV Easy with vMix. So I'll take a report on that, whether that is improved. Yeah, I'm seeing myself now quite late on the so I can see on the picture that I have sharpened myself a little bit. Hopefully that's okay. This is GW7BZY round 2. Gary, I think. Whomever.
Okay, I've put a little bit more power in so that Roger can quickly see if the signals are a bit better on his two systems. Yeah, I also want to say hi to Peter Rudolph, OE6DZF or DK3 Zulu Foxtrot. Peter comes up every week as well from Germany, but it'd be nice to see you guys on TV one of these fine days. I really look forward to that. And all good on Paul, that he's out of pain now. Yeah, the ops are never nice. Any intrusion into the human body is just unpleasant, I suppose. But I'm pleased to hear that the pain is now abated or has abated. Okay, just some stats. Also, there's a guy, old Frick Wolf, ZD6FWW, he's watching. And hi to Frick. Frick built his own narrowband unit, designed it himself, built it from scratch, and it actually worked very well. But I haven't heard him on the narrowband for years. I don't often come there, I must be honest. Right, with that, we're going to close the net. Thank everybody for coming up. We've had 66 viewers on, 23 concurrent. So that's very good on YouTube. And we, again, welcome everybody on. And sometimes it gets more interesting than other times. We have nice technical discussions on this net where people build things. Mike Willis, G0MJW, he's a prolific builder of electronic equipment and radio equipment, as is Benno from Holland. He's on holiday, and my dear friend Mike is busy with something else he has to attend to. He's got a lot of work this week coming up. So we wish you well, Mike, in all those efforts and a lot of admin work, but I'm sure you'll get through that okay. And that's why you're not having wine, I presume. And Benno, I wonder if you just gone straight onto the bottle, forgot the glass. Benno says he fills the glass, but it keeps getting empty and he's still thirsty. So I said, man, to hell with the glass, go with the bottle. Anyway, a lot of nonsense we can talk as radio amateurs, isn't it? For those, there was a question asked by somebody, what is this all about? Because they had stumbled on us. We transmit television, as you can see, straight to each other via satellite. So you're not going through any telephone lines or anything. It's direct from my house in South Africa, direct to the UK and Holland and wherever, sometimes even South America. But I do run a stream on YouTube at the same time so that people that don't have the equipment can at least have a look. There are many radio hams, 68 now, 68 radio hams have been watching. And yeah, Nigel, always nice to have you on, my dear friend. It's time you get back on because you used to put out a good signal on the satellite. So there we go. So that in essence,
that was a big explosion. Those were the last words, Gary, that we heard from you. Also from my side, thanks for watching. To all people also on YouTube. Yeah, we will meet hopefully next week again. Have a nice week. This was Papa Echo #1 Alpha Victor Papa. And Gary, thanks for leading the net.
I just thought I'd better come up and let you know we're okay. I don't know why the thing froze. I can't understand that. Suddenly I saw I had no output, IPTV output. Anyway, no streaming in other words. So there we go. So all okay this part of the world. Just a wake up explosion. 7-3, all the best. ZS6YI, QO Tokyo.